Fellow Nigerians, this is Frederick Odorige once again. After the Black Friday June massacre in Plateau State, the federal government of Nigeria deployed security agencies to the troubled area, but nothing changed. The owners of the communities have not returned till now because the villages have been taken over by strangers. That is the true definition of ethnic cleansing. Ridiculously, President Buhari quickly congratulated the army for making the country safe again. So Nigeria is safe again now. What a heartless joke. Thereafter, 10 persons were killed and no comment was made by the government because 10 persons were too few to speak about. Then 40 persons were killed in Adamawa State in an attack against 5 villages. There were also attacks in neighboring Taraba State. Those in government have been busy campaigning for their re-election. Even a fool will not vote for the government that neglected them and supervised the killing of his people. We can see how the government of Nigeria is playing politics with the lives of Nigerians. The recent killing of 32 persons in Sokoto State a few days ago is an attestation to the fact that this government has lost grip of the governance of Nigeria. I have never had such a consistent killing in any country where there is no war. And the Sokoto killing also buttresses my position that this is not just about Christians and Muslims, because they are killing both Christians and they are killing Muslims. Nigerians should decide whether to react now or forever keep silent and wait to be killed. We call on the international community, especially the United Kingdom, United States of America, and the European Union, to stop giving financial aids to the Federal Republic of Nigeria for as long as this killing continues. Since such monies are not used to secure Nigeria, then it is being spent in destroying the country. Nigeria continues to borrow. Actually, Nigeria has borrowed 22 trillion naira, which is an equivalent of $73 billion for the past 3 years. Nigeria is very resourceful. Nigeria receives aids, yet it cannot manage itself. That is the problem. Yet it cannot manage itself. So what do we need the aids for? And Nigerians must stop the habit of burying those that are killed. We must stop burying them. We have too many mass graves already. Simply notify the international media whenever there is a killing, load the corpses in lorries, deposit them in front of Aso Rock, and drive away. The president should keep the corpses. Because he campaigned with security when he was coming into power. President Buhari campaigned that because of the security situation during the time of Jonathan Goodluck, that he was going to solve that. We just felt that as an army general, he might do something, but now it's getting worse. We cannot continue like that. In the words of Rotimi Amechi, any government that watches its people killed every day is an irresponsible government. Recall that in 2012, when they were killing in Nigeria, Nasser El-Rufai, the current APC governor of Kaduna State, made the following statement. What did he say? Jonathan should resign if he has no solution to the violence being unleashed on some parts of the country. The question is, since the senseless killing that has been going on in Nigeria since 2015, has Governor El-Rufai advised Buhari to resign? So what did we see? Police officers were forcefully pushing Nigerians who were demonstrating against this killing. Those Nigerians that demonstrated to Aso Rock. The police were pushing them. But remember that recently in Borno State, the Nigerian police, they were shooting sporadically in the air because of their delayed salaries. If you can demonstrate or protest for your salaries, what stops Nigerians from demonstrating when Nigerians are being killed? You value your salaries more than the lives of Nigerians? Your families are being killed too. Police officers are being killed. The army, their soldiers are being killed. We must know this. So, police officers, when you are taking directives from your boss, you must understand if you are doing the right thing. It is our human rights to demonstrate. It is our human right to protest in Nigeria against the things that are going on now. Fellow Nigerians, today we wish to address two sensitive issues, which are the main reasons why we always have problems in this country in such a way that we now bring in visionless public office holders. And the two things we are going to discuss today, seriously, is about our elections, and thuggery. Elections and thuggery. These are the two main factors that have brought poor leadership and evil political investors into the corridors of power. The factors that have brought illiterates, certificate forgers, ritualists, swindlers, budget padders, and thugs into respected offices. This has come to be because we Nigerians left our electoral processes in the hands of electoral umpires and politicians who have manipulated the system against us for many, many years. It is our silence. Some people will see me now, they'll say, oh, he's talking again. As long as you refuse to act, when you listen to these messages, it means that the worst are yet to come. God forbid. God forbid. Elections are decisive moments in the destiny of any country. And it is very risky to leave elections in the hands of politicians. By allowing politicians to dictate to us, we are sponsoring our own suffering and we delay our collective progress. Politicians now do what they want because they feel that our votes did not bring them into office. Because many of them, they rig their way. But it is we, the people, that have been helping them to rig. And this must stop. Never again must we make the mistake in 2019, if indeed there will be 2019. If you analyze the psychographics of our country, Nigeria, you will see that the greatest problems we have as a country is election and religion. In other words, politicians and religion are the greatest problems we have as a people. It is rigged elections that bring about thuggery and visionless politicians into office. Religion, on the other hand, is used in swindling the conscience and valuable resources of Nigerians who have hitherto been impoverished by thievery politicians. We must stop allowing politicians to see our election as business ventures. When they see it as business, they start campaigning for the next election just after spending 2 years in office. That is why you see politicians who set up canopies, they hire traditional dancers and make big ceremonies just to commission a project. They spend huge money in advertising the job they have done, as if they are doing us a favor for doing their job with our money. They mostly use such expensive ceremonies to campaign for the next election, instead of allowing their works to speak for themselves. The 2019 election will decide our destiny as a people. It will decide, and that is if there will be 2019. The power for progress lies in the hands of Nigerians. Our votes never counted much, but it must count now in 2019, if there will be 2019. Our destiny as a people does not lie in the hands of present-day politicians. This is not a generation where a president will openly say that development will come only to those areas where he had more votes. For many years now, one thing is clear. Our politicians are lazy and they are greedy. Many stole, died, and took nothing with them to the grave. Yet those alive continue to steal as if they will live forever. Now, let's have some words for the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. According to you, an estimated 80 million Nigerians have been registered in the system. 300 non-Nigerians were arrested for trying to register for elections. We did not hear or read anything about these foreigners, whether they were prosecuted or whether they were sent to jail, because their sponsors are above the law. We know that the number of foreigners that register as Nigerians are in hundreds of thousands. This game has been going on for a long time, and it has to stop. It is imperative that the Nigerian immigration must work effectively with INEC at registration centers in arresting and prosecuting such persons and their sponsors. It is a national disgrace and an indictment on our immigration to hear that foreigners will cross our boundaries into Nigeria and register to vote. And these actions are being sponsored by our politicians. They bring people from Niger Republic and from everywhere, even from Cameroon, to come and vote in Nigeria. It's a national disgrace. Now, 138 more political parties have applied for registration. 68 political parties have been registered so far. And the Electoral Act of 1999 has to be extensively reviewed. That is something that we must do. Because we, Nigerians in diaspora, we must be allowed to exercise our votes. We must vote. It's our right. And it is long overdue. Diasporas in 28 African countries, they vote in their countries. Why not Nigeria? Nigerians abroad contribute highly to the economic growth of Nigeria. Nigerians abroad wired $22 billion home in 2017. This is the highest in Africa and the 5th largest remittance by immigrants, according to the World Bank. It is high time we voted, we that are living outside Nigeria. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Committee, INEC, should know that Nigeria will spend less on elections and put an end to political thuggery and rigging if we introduce the SIM card voting system. SIM card voting system has to be introduced in Nigeria, that you can vote with your mobile phone anywhere you are. You don't need to travel to the venue. There will be no talks. There will be no problems with elections. And it will be cheaper to maintain. Now you hear about many people that have abandoned their PVC, permanent voters card. What is the reason? Some of them have relocated. Some of them were youth corpers that have finished service. Some of them were students who graduated. Some are workers that were transferred. Or some just migrated due to search for greener pastures. So what do? We cannot continue spending so much money in producing PVCs and we end up burning them. So the government of Nigeria must seriously consider the idea of introducing SIM card voting system. They just enter your biometrics data into the system, and anywhere you are, you can vote. You cannot cheat because the system has to be configured in such a way that you cannot even vote more than once. These are things, new ideas we must be thinking about in Nigeria. We need innovation. We need creativity. We cannot continue to do the same thing the same old way. Or there are elections and you are saying that the card reader machine is not functioning. We cannot continue like that. And when it's not functioning, before you know it, they will now resort to manual voting. No. We should think of new ideas. Another thing we must really consider is the issue of late arrival of electoral materials during election. That period of delay is usually when they manipulate and add fake election materials while they are filling the original documents in an hotel or in their private rooms. How can you prepare for an election for 1 year, 6 months, or 1 year? On election day, you come late. There's something going on. That is why they remove the original documents, bring in fake documents, and they are filling the results in the hotels. That is something that we must consider. That is the issue of logistics. And INEC must start to do something seriously about this. All electoral materials ought to report at every polling station, latest 8:30 in the morning. Another problem we have with our electoral system in Nigeria is that the rate at which INEC use non-members of staff is very wrong. It's very wrong. They use non-members of staff during elections. And that is another reason why we have been experiencing election irregularities for years. Such persons could easily be compromised than a regular staff that will work effectively in order to preserve his job. A local staff will not take risk because he knows that, one, he will lose his job, and it will be very easy to trace him. But when you use people who are not INEC staff, they can easily be compromised. During an election, some INEC staff are just in the office doing nothing while external persons are conducting elections. At the end of failed elections, we end up blaming INEC all the time. The supervisory presiding officer, or SPO, are usually university staff or staff from the federal ministries. The collation officers, or COs, who are ward returning officers, are also external persons connected to politicians. Governors are usually given the opportunity to suggest the supervisory presiding officer or the collation officer. How can you do that? You are giving fish to the rat to keep for you. They end up rigging for the politicians that suggested them for that job. You cannot tell a serving governor to produce somebody that will conduct election. It's an irony. INEC must train and use their regular staff for such jobs. With adequate training, INEC staff, even on level 4, could effectively handle such jobs. Lastly, INEC must consider a timetable where the same elections are not held on the same day across the country. Because it is not easy to mobilize resources, that is INEC staff, security agencies, to conduct, for example, the governorship election in Nigeria in one day. No. We could spread it for like 2 weeks so that when it is an election for, let's say, Delta State, you have many INEC staff on ground. You have a lot of security agencies on ground. Take, for example, the election in Ekiti State, where 30,000 police officers have been deployed to the state. If that election is going on at the same time in all the 36 states of Nigeria, it will be difficult to draft 30,000 police officers there at the same time. There will be no effective monitoring. So we must think about a situation where we don't hold federal legislative positions or governorship elections in one day. We can spread it. For example, we can use 2 weeks to run governorship election. That is something that INEC should seriously consider, because Nigeria is spending billions of naira on our elections, and we just end up seeing people in position that were not voted into power. They buy the votes. They buy the election. We cannot continue like that. Therefore, it portends national tragedy whenever we put our elections in the hands of politicians. That is why we have been having bad leaders for many years. Of course, it is good that we have youth corps as presiding officers. It's good that we are having them. But we should also make sure that the youth corps we are using as presiding officers are not compromised. If they compromise, then they lose their certificate of discharge from NYC. So these are issues we must really seriously consider before the 2019 election. Because now you see that people that have money, that have stolen money, these are the same people that are coming to power because they reinvest what they stole. And that is why they can buy elections. They can buy electoral officers. But that is not the type of leadership that we need. To them, it's business. They are investing. Elections should be made for every Nigerian that is qualified. Our elections should not go to the highest bidder. Now, let's talk about thuggery in our elections. Not too long ago, after I spoke that Senator Saraki and his gang members in the Senate are worse than Evans the kidnapper, a gang of political thugs turned armed robbers, they were arrested. It's no longer news. Of course, we know that Saraki, the Senate president, will not sponsor armed robbers. That we know. Yet, we cannot dispute the fact that most Nigerian politicians have paid thugs who do their dirty jobs for them. When a guy is not in town and the boys are broke, they simply go into robbery and kidnapping using the tools provided for them by their masters. Nigerian politicians continue to push our capable youths into crime. Youths, listen. If you have ammunition supplied to you by any politician, just take those ammunitions, take them to the police station, report the person, and drop the ammunitions there. Because they are only helping you to your grave. These politicians, they don't plan well for you. Why don't they give such ammunition to their children? To go and kill, to go and maim people. Don't let them use you. Nigerian youth, if you have in your possession guns or any type of ammunition given to you by any politician that is with you now, that gun can kill you. That gun will push you into robbery. Better submit it now to the police and tell the police the person that gave it to you. That is how we can begin to treat these politicians. That is the only way. Nigerian youths must say no to the manipulation of politicians. They will use and dump you after the election. The weapons they give to you could push you into other crimes, and you end up wasting your life. Take, for example, what's happening in Rivers State. Imagine how many young, able youths have died or injured since the political rivalry and ego battle between Rotimi Amechi and Nyesom Wike and other political gladiators in Rivers State. Youths allow themselves to be used. Many of them died while their sponsors are still alive, enjoying the perks of office. Imagine Amechi and Wike, two persons in respectable positions, insulting themselves publicly, using all types of gutter languages while their children are listening. These are the people leading us. Pride did not even allow them to call each other for amicable reconciliation of their differences. How many will you live forever? If both of them settle themselves now, Wike and Amechi, there will be peace in River State. But no, they rely on you to do their dirty jobs of thuggery for them. You should know that after all the killing, fight, and thuggery that has taken place in River State, the people you fought for, they are still in big positions. But you have wasted your life. Since the election of 2015, for example, Wike still became governor. Rotimi Amechi became Minister for Transport. Ibim Semeni Tari became chairman of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Peter Saida Kuku became the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. The people you fought for, they still ended up getting big positions, but you kill yourselves. You enjoy yourselves for them. You must be wise. When Oshomole was initially declared governor by the court in Edo State, a youth celebrated so much in excess that he died while he fell off from a lorry. But Oshomole's children were relaxing at home, celebrating at home. Today, Oshomole served 8 years in office and now is the national chairman of APC. The people that died for him, they died, they wasted their lives. In 2017, when James Ibori was released from prison in the UK for looting the treasury of Delta State, he returned to Delta State in 2017. And his arrival was a big celebration for the people. Some people died, fell from the lorry, some were crushed to death. Why? Because they were celebrating the Ibori. Today, Ibori is still alive, receiving sponsored chieftaincy titles from his bootlickers all around Delta State. But those that died, they have died. Stop dying for politicians. They don't want it. They put us where we are now. Our parents no longer advising their children. The family value is lost in Nigeria. That is why you cannot tell your child not to go support this kind of politicians. You kill yourself for peanuts. They steal billions and billions of naira, and they give you 5,000 naira for 4 years. 4 years is 1,460 days. Divide it by 5,000 naira. It cannot give you 4 naira in a day on the average. That cannot buy you pure water. But people, shine your eyes. When we say mumu don't do, it's not just talk. Think about it. This mumu don't do. These politicians will sponsor your courts, and they will have a fake, and you now have a fake pride as a courtist. Oh, the governor is my man. The governor is our main man. This politician is our main man. You are deceiving yourself. If anything happens, they will deny you to save their names. Will Saraki or the governor of Kwara State ever agree that they have talks? No. But they know the truth in their heart of hearts. They have talks, all of them, they have talks. And they are destroying your lives. Youths are the greatest problems we have in Nigerian elections now. If Nigerian youths decide to say, I refuse to be a thug for politicians, you say Nigeria will be better. And that is why Buhari said that Nigerian youths are lazy. He meant many things when he said that. Buhari meant that if they give you 5,000 naira, you will take it because you are lazy, and you will sell your destiny. Don't let anybody give you money for election. Collect their money, but vote your conscience. Vote what is right. Don't think about APC. Don't think about PDP. They have taken us nowhere. They put us where we are now. Let them campaign and do anything. No, we are saying no. And that is why we are saying no to corruption. We are saying no to rigging. We are saying no to killing in Nigeria. We are saying no to the ongoing genocide. We are saying no to whatever has kept us down as a people. Where is your t-shirt? No, go print it. We are saying no. This is revolution without ammunition. The time has come. The time has come. How can somebody give you a gun to go and kill somebody for power? Whoever is spending money or giving you a gun to kill, that person has no intention for governance. Governance is about service. Somebody tells you to go and kill because he's desperate to be in power, and you take the money. That alone is enough for you to know that that person is fake. We live here in Europe. When they do elections, we don't even know that election is going on because everything goes calmly. Who goes sponsor somebody to go and fight or kill for or snatch ballot paper or this? Please, my people, you have to wake up. We have to wake up. Unguided, unemployed youths allow themselves to be used, bruised and killed by those desperate power mongers whose children are peacefully studying abroad. Nigerian youths, stop allowing politicians to use you as slaves. They turn you to murderers. They turn you to criminals. Nigerians have helped politicians in putting us where we are today. This must stop. We must stop receiving their bribes. For example, during the Okowa-Ogboru election in 2015, there in Warri, police officers were there. And they were giving voters 1,000 naira for one vote. If you vote, they will see your ballot paper and give you 1,000 naira. It's a shame. They know you will take the 1,000. Why? First, they made you to be poor. Then they made you to be afraid. Today now, when we talk about this kind of campaign, people are afraid to come out to even protest. They're afraid. That is how the politicians want you to be. Politicians want you to be afraid to speak, to act against them. Politicians want you to be hungry so that you'll be focused on looking for food for your family. then you forget your human rights. But it is your human right that will set you free. Only our human rights will set us free. You must know our rights. They have no right to do what they are doing. And I keep saying that the people that are holding Nigeria down now, they are less than 10,000 people. That is, if you add all the 774 local government chairmen and other special advisors here and there. How can we allow a few to subjugate millions of us? Nigeria is the only country where I know that we always say we are estimated 200 million, estimated 180 million. We don't even know our population. Every day we estimate, we don't even know who we are. Vote buying and vote selling is criminal. And we must know that. It's criminal. It's against the law. Now, what is Buhari doing? Now, the government of President Buhari is already planning to buy votes in 2019. The government of Switzerland recently received some of Abacha's loot amounting to 322 million USD to Nigeria. Buhari planned to share this money to some families in 19 states of Nigeria. But remember that some time ago, Buhari categorically said that dictator Sani Abacha did not steal from Nigeria. So two questions are here. If Abacha did not steal, so what was released and what are you planning to share now? The money you are planning to share now is coming from where? From what Abacha stole. Secondly, does it make sense to share money to some families and leave some families out? How long can you continue sharing money for people? If you share money for people 5,000 every month, what is that? How can that change the system? Money that you are supposed to use in investing into industries, revamp dead industries that will create permanent jobs. They are talking of sharing money so that people will forget their families that were killed in Benue State. You give them 5,000 so that they will forget their families killed in Zamfara, in Taraba, in Delta, in Sokoto, in many other states. You are paying for bloodshed in the name of elections. Go to the UK and other countries and see what is happening to Nigerian students there now. And Nigeria is looking for money to share to people for election. The federal government of Nigeria is currently frustrating Niger Delta students that are studying in the United Kingdom. Niger Delta students under the amnesty program. They have been frustrated. Many of them have not received their allowances for up to 8 to 10 months. Can you do that to your children? Many of them have been thrown out of school. Some of them have been thrown out of their accommodation. Some of them have even been taken to court by their landlords because of inability to pay their rent. Why? The government of Nigeria refused to pay their allowances. Some of them will now go into crime. Some will go into prostitution. No, all the allowances for the past 8 to 10 months have not been paid. In the amnesty program, who is in charge? Don't be surprised. Somebody will just put this money in his personal bank account to be yielding interest at the detriment of these poor students. People don't have conscience. Even for them to feed now, it's a huge problem for them. And the students have been told the same stories over the months that, oh, they are processing their money from the central bank. Come on. Now they call the amnesty office under Professor Charles Dokubo. They don't pick their phone calls anymore. They don't reply to their emails. They're just suffering because the government does not care. The government does not care. And it's a national disgrace. This is the same thing that the government of Rivers State did to Rivers State students who were on scholarship to Hungary and to other countries. They abandoned them. Some of them were forced to return home, even in their third year. Some became stranded and frustrated How can you treat a people like that? What you cannot do to your children, you do it to other people. Just because a government, the present government, does not share the political ideology of its predecessor. Government runs in continuity. Go to the UK and see Nigerian students there, frustrated and suffering at Portsmouth, Huddersfield, Sunderland, Kingston, Hertfordshire universities in the UK and even in other countries on scholarship. Now, Buhari is only planning to share this money as a way of buying votes for the 2019 elections. Fellow Nigerians, collect whatever money they give to you. But this government of Buhari, we must kick them out. Because it has no direction at this point. No two ways about that. If Jonathan Goodluck had given Nigerians stable electricity within his 6 months in office, there would have been no way for Buhari to win him, despite the monumental corruption in that government. Nigerians want to see practical things, not promise. People will die, you say, oh, we promise that it will not happen again. The next thing you hear another one in Taraba State, oh, the government will promise again. Please. We're talking about human beings here. In one fell swoop, you kill 86 people, 39 people, 48 people, not chickens. And the government is just there, campaigning all around for a second term in office. This next election, we all are going to be the police. We all are going to be INEC. We're not going to leave this next election in the hands of politicians. So politicians that are bringing people from outside, mercenaries to come and vote, nemesis will catch up with them. All our coordinators in local government areas, you know what to do. We have to video every result in every polling booth. We already have a pool now where you can send such videos on WhatsApp. We must record all our votes in every polling booth. Anything that is happening there, you must record it. And you must record it in such a way that you are showing us the location. We know where that place is. Thank God for the videos we now have on our mobile phones. No voting for senators in 2019. That is the strongest point we're making in this campaign. Because Nigerian senators have stolen us in fact, they have put Nigeria in a precarious situation. Nigerian senators, we are not going to vote in 2019 for the position of senators. Let us scrap the Senate now. We can make do with the House of Reps under some conditions. We cannot continue with these people called senators in Nigeria. Now, the court has ordered President Buhari to prosecute senators who stole 481 billion naira from the 2016 budget. We are waiting for Buhari. The world is watching. If those people, if they don't refund that money, and if they are not jailed before next election, then you will know that there's a compromise between the presidency and the Senate. And we must use our votes to say no to godfathers. Godfathers are the ones that will not sit in an office, pick people that will just represent us. They buy votes, buy electoral officers, and put incompetent people to lead us. That is why we are suffering today now. Any godfather you see, you have to shout no on their head. Shout no on their head. No. Anytime you see senators, shout no on their head. Anytime you see politicians, shout no on their head. Start shouting no on their head. We say no to them. No. They put us where we are now. Nigeria is not poor. Our leaders made us poor. We refuse to continue in this poverty. People are escaping from Nigeria every day, looking for visa. We are escaping because of politicians. Why? In our country, we must stop them now. And that is why we are saying no. Some politicians, they have sold their hearts to Satan. They wine and dine with Satan. and very diabolical. Man too repented some time ago that he was rigging for PDP. He was magnanimous in confessing publicly that he was rigging for PDP, that he's not a born-again politician. All Nigerian politicians, they have to become born again politically and spiritually. We cannot continue like that as a people. Godfathers are the greatest problems we have in Nigeria now in terms of politics. You can Google for my book, Godfathers and the Impediment of Democracy and Human Rights in Delta State. You can Google for it. We cannot continue like that. Part 2 of my book is also ready, Revolution Without Ammunition. Pathway to Nigerian Second Independence, Part 2 is out now. I'm not advertising for commercial purpose. You can read them online also, free of charge. We cannot continue like that, my people. We have to be wise now that we're alive. I live in Hungary. Hungarians gallantly revolted against Russian and Austrian revolution in 1956 to break the yoke of oppression. The oppressive system fought against the Hungarians and quashed the revolution, but they did not give up. Many of them left their countries as refugees, but they did not give up. In 1990, they fought again and won the battle against communism. Since 1958, there has been no political murder in Hungary. Since 1958. So we must stop killing each other with guns of the oppressors. We must not support them to rig elections against us. We must not kill ourselves because of criminal politicians. Votes must be counted in our respective units, and we must be sure of what the results are. That is how we can say no to the oppressors. State electoral commissions established by state governors is a mockery of democracy. A governor will just pick some persons and say they are members of the electoral commission. Then he will now sit in his home and start to pick people to be chairman of local government area. Incompetent people. That is why now you don't even see developments coming from local government. No constructions. Nothing. Why? Because at the end of the month, they pay godfathers. They pay these governors money that is supposed to be for the building of infrastructures. We have started broadcasting our messages in Pidgin English. This video has a Pidgin English version also. It is our aspiration that we are going to broadcast in 25 languages before the next election. Next video will be broadcast in 5 languages: Urhobo, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and Bini language. In our next video, we start with 5 languages. So before the next election, we are going to be doing our broadcast in 25 Nigerian languages. Because this thing we are doing is not just talking about talking. We want to take the message to the grassroots, that even the kerosene seller in the market, the palm wine tapper in the village, they will hear what we are doing and they will get this information. Don't vote for senators in 2019. They are the lawbreakers that have put us where we are now. So if you wish to join our team, you know you can translate in your own language. Just click on subscribe of this video, then send us an email, which is written under the video. Then we'll tell you what to do for you to be able to translate in your own language. Represent your language so that the information can go around. That is your contribution. This battle in Nigeria is for all of us. We must all stand up. We must begin to act, think in one direction now. Our protests in 3 countries will be taking place on the 1st of October, 2018. 1st of October, we are going to have huge rallies against the huge misrules going on in Nigeria. We shall be at the UN office, New York, United States of America, UN Geneva, Switzerland, and at the European Commission, the European Union headquarters in Brussels, Belgium. So please, Nigerians in and around those countries, try to get connected to us, organize yourselves. I'll be in one of those places also to address the crowd. We are going to send letters to connected offices about what is going on in Nigeria. Nigeria needs help. We have to bring our situation to international limelight now before it turns to Rwanda. And on the 3rd of October, every Nigerian living abroad, we are going to have protest marches. 3rd of October, after the 1st of October protest. On the 3rd of October, we are going to all our respective embassies abroad, whether you are in the UK, whether you are in Hungary, whether you are in Czech Republic, Slovenia, Slovakia, Austria, wherever, anywhere in Africa, go to Nigerian embassy, protest to the Nigerian embassy. Submit one letter. We are going to write one format letter. Everybody will get it. All coordinators will get it. Submit to them that we don't appreciate what is happening in our country now. The hunger, the killing. We cannot continue like that. But something you must put in your timetable is 1st of November. On the 1st of November, we are going to vote for one particular candidate. We are going to vote for just one person, 1st of November, that we are going to support massively in the next election. One person. So, what we are going to do is that, because now people have been telling us, why don't you support this candidate? Why don't you support this candidate? No, we don't want to support any candidate now. Because in elections, there are contenders and there are contestants. By 1st of November, we know who the serious contestants are. So by 1st of November, we are going to pick one person through this video channel. So what you just need to do to participate in that election, just click on the subscribe button under this video. And you can vote with your mobile phone. We pick one person. But listen, before you vote, we are going to tell you 10 things. 10, we are going to publish also in our website. 10 things you must look out for you to vote for the next Nigerian president. 1, the person must promise us now during the election that it will give Nigeria stable electricity within 2 years. Point number 1, during the person's campaign, he must promise us this. Remember that in 2015, Babatunde Fashola, who is now the Minister for Power, Works and Housing, during their campaign for Buhari, they said that when they come into power, within 6 months, they'll give us light. Here we are. No light, no electricity in Nigeria, no stable electricity. So and any president that cannot give Nigeria stable electricity within 2 years, is a nobody. It's a nobody. It's a nobody. It's visionless. Period. So that is the first thing we're going to look out for the person that will be the president of Nigeria in 2019. Secondly, the person must have no godfather or political investor behind him or her. 3, he must tell us his source of income and prepare to declare his assets. 3, he must promise that he or she will restructure Nigeria. Nigeria needs restructuring now at this point. 4, he must promise to fight corruption from Babangida years till today. And this will include continuous publication of recovered loot, the looter, and how much the recovered loot is rechanneled into the economy. 5, he must promise to review the salaries and emolument of federal legislators and executives in accordance with the law of Nigeria. When I say federal legislators, I mean House of Reps, because by then, Senate will be gone. Call it a dream, but they will be gone. Point number 7, the next president must not have held more than one political office in the past. We must do away with recycled public office holders. 8, he must promise to ban health tourism abroad. Buhari told us that he will not travel abroad for health tourism when he becomes president. Now he has spent 107 days in the UK, spending huge sums of money which he has refused to disclose, and is fighting corruption. We don't need that kind of president that will lie. Number 9, the next president must promise to ban education abroad for the children of serving public office holders. If you cannot build good schools in Nigeria, your children should school there too. And number 10, the next president, when you are going to vote on November 1st in this our channel, the next president you should vote for should be somebody that will be prepared to declare during this campaign, to declare all armed groups in Nigeria as terrorist group, whether they are headsmen, whether they are from Libya, whether they are from anywhere. The next president should be able to tell us now that he will declare them as terrorists. And that same president must tell us that IPOB is not a terrorist group. He must be ready to unban IPOB as a terrorist group. IPOB is not a terrorist group. I'm repeating that again. IPOB is not a terrorist group, but we do not support the breakup of Nigeria. Nigeria will not break. It is the bad rulers that will break. Everybody is angry. That's why people want to break. But if the country is good, nobody wants to break. So the next president must declare all armed terrorist groups killing people now. He must declare them as terrorist group, and he must unban IPOB as a terrorist group. See, Nigeria is like a soup that has gone sour. When you don't have money to prepare another soup, and your soup got sour because of heat, or you did not warm it on time, or you did not put it in the fridge, it starts to bring some foam on top of the soup. If you don't have money to cook another soup, what do? You throw away the soup? No, that is Nigeria. You take your spoon, remove the foam on top of the soup, you put potash, or what we call a keun in my place. You put potash, add some spices, boil the soup again, and you start to whack your eba or whack your Santana. I mean, not be so. That's so they do. So country is bad does not mean I must throw away Nigeria. No, we have to repair it. We have to remove the foam. That is the bad leaders. We have to add new potash. That is new generation of politicians. Then we have to boil again. That is, we have to rejig the system. That is what we're talking about. And that is the type of leadership that we need in Nigeria now. We cannot throw away Nigeria. So fellow Nigerians, just click on subscribe now, and you can vote on the 1st of November. May God grant us wisdom as a people. Amen.